Another day out biking in the forest, and another day to just talk about some stuff. So yeah, what's on the plate today? First thing coming to mind was a discussion about DOMI LIBERY that was been going on in the One Piece community a few weeks and months back, and even with the latest chapter with the deep sea contract and the way Imu has power over people. Like the deep sea contract, what we learned in the news chapter is basically that once you are even in the shadow sea contract, if you're close to Imu, you can't refuse any command Imu gives you. You must obey the Great One, Lord Imu. So, and in the deep sea contract, Imu can at any point in the world where you are talk to you via telepathy. You have like a constant connection. So, like in the shadow sea contract, if you are like outside of Malaysia or outside of the range of whatever the range is of Imus power, then you would be fine. You have had your own will back and could act according to your own will. But in the... Oh, it's a rabbit. There's some more rabbits. These guys are big. Anyways, rabbits aside, in the deep sea contract, you basically lose all chance of disobeying Imu. And we very much saw this gradual transformation of Harold. Like he got the order from Imu, and gradually his character kind of changed. Like his entire demeanor, his personality changed. He was still Harold. He still spoke like Harold. He didn't grow horns. It wasn't like DOMI LIBERY that he became a demon, but his character changed. Like before last chapter, people were like discussing like how is he gonna do it. It's like DOMI LIBERY gonna DOMI LIBERY Harold, and then Demon Harold goes and is like, oh giants, we must all go to the world government and make an army. And people were like, yeah, that's not gonna work. How is this gonna work? This is how it's working, because he still looks like Harold. He still sounds like Harold. It's just that he's following the orders of Imu. He himself said at the end, like, I'm a vassal of the great Lord Imu. It's like Lord Imu is for him now the most important and greatest person in the world. Like he's absolutely 100% devout to Imu now, because Imu told him so. Okay, where am I going with this? So part of this discussion with DOMI LIBERY was Luffy having a power, or the Strolls in general figuring out a way, and Luffy having a power to reverse the LIBERY. And people gave it the name DOMI LIBERY. I'm not entirely against this. Like I'm not against Luffy having a power to like undo the DOMI LIBERY. Like Roger and Garp together, just really strong haki punch. They punched the fucking DOMI LIBERY out of rocks. They undid it. So it is possible already. And maybe with Luffy having the Nika fruit and being like this warrior of liberation, maybe he has even easier or easier access to undoing this ability. But the way where people went with it is Luffy having this DOMI LIBERY power. So he brings people to his side. And that's something that is very much opposed to what Luffy is about and what the fucking word LIBERY is about. Like, what is DOMI LIBERY? It's my power, and it is bringing you to my side and making you a good guy because I'm the good guy. No, that would just be the same power as DOMI LIBERY. that would just make people follow to your will. I'm not against people, Luffy being the one to free people from DOMI LIBERY, or even free people from the deep sea contract. Like a character like Gunko is very interesting. Like, she likes Brook's music, listens to that, she has memories about Brook, but she's under Imu's control. And now we know that people's character completely changed. So maybe Gunko is actually a good person, but it's just being controlled by Imu because she's in the deep sea contract. So maybe we need to figure a way out to like get people out of this deep sea contract. And I'm not against that. What I am against is Luffy having a power to make like villains and bad people come to his side by a power. Like, yes, he does have this power, and people go back to Marineford where Mihawk stated about Luffy being so dangerous is because he brings people to his side. But his bringing people to his side is not something that is a power, or is a kind of power he has, but it's not by force. And that's the important part. It is, no one is forced to follow Luffy in Marineford. Crocodile is not forced to help Luffy. Like Ivankov, okay, kind of threatens Crocodile, so maybe he's forced a little bit, but he didn't have to like save Shanks from the guillotine. Not the guillotine, the fucking whatever the weapons the guards had on the Chauffeur. Crocodile went out of his way and stopped them from cutting down. Did I say Shanks? I meant Ace. Crocodile went out of his way and stopped them from cutting down Ace. He used his scent powers for that. Why did he do that? Because of Luffy. Like the same guy that punched him out in Alabasta and basically made him lose his entire plan, now broke him out of prison and dragged him with him to Marineford, and now he's fighting on his side? Like, why is Crocodile doing that? Like, because Luffy has this way of being, like, where he's like, he's just such a jolly guy, and like, especially I think it works because Luffy ain't forcing Crocodile's hand. He's like, hey Croco, what up? Like, Luffy ain't holding a grudge against Crocodile, and that's somehow bringing Crocodile to his side. Luffy's not like, yeah, you did bad stuff back there, but I punched you real hard and I think you learned your lesson. That's how Luffy is. And Crocodile's like, what the fuck? Huh? And then, because of how Luffy is, Crocodile helps him. And if that was like Crocodile helping him because of a power Luffy has, because of DOMI LIBERY, that would lose all meaning. Like, being a liberator doesn't mean to bring people to your side and make them fight on your side because you are the good guy and you know what's best. No. Liberating people means letting them make their own choice. Imu doesn't let people make their own choices. Imu is an absolute ruler, seen as a god. A god that is above everyone else. Luffy isn't above the people. He's like not even saying, like, his common saying is like, I'm not a hero. Like, I stop saying I saved your country or saved the people. I just did what I wanted. I just want some meat. Man, heroes have to share their meat. I don't want to do that. Like, he himself doesn't see himself as this grand good guy. This grand person. What he does do and what he does stand for, though, is go against oppression and be like, people should have a choice for themselves, should be able to stand up for themselves. So power like DOMI LIBERY would go completely against anything Luffy stands for. So I'm not against him having the power like of getting rid of DOMI LIBERY, but I don't want him to replace it with his own DOMI LIBERY. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So those were my thoughts on that. Other thoughts for the upcoming year. I'm definitely gonna keep making these videos and keep posting them. Yeah, currently every single one of my videos sits as free reviews, but that's not what I'm making them for. It is very much because I wanna talk about these things and wanna get this out there. And just have a platform where I save it on the internet. Like YouTube is basically my free data share. If someone watches it and enjoys it, great. If not, I'm still gonna do it. And yeah, I think we have a great year of One Piece ahead of us. Like Oda told us so much at Jump Festival now about the man with the burnt scar who's gonna appear next year, about new characters we're gonna meet next year, people meeting each other that haven't met each other before, and it going towards the final island. It is going towards Laugh Tale in next year. So we can expect, I guess, if that is true, Oda sometimes doesn't get his timing right, like One Piece gonna be ending in 5 years and then it's 10 years later and it's still not over. But if it's about right, I think we have like a half a year at least of Elbaf still left, and then maybe this wraps up. Half a year is the least we have. I can't see it being any shorter than this. But yeah, then we might be, or maybe even more, maybe the entire year. And at the very end of the year, we are getting towards Laugh Tale. Like, that's more likely, I think. And the man with the burnt scar. Now, who is the man with the burnt scar? Is it a character we already know? Unlikely. I think the man with the burnt scar is probably a new character, but I had one theory and that would be very interesting. If the man with the burnt scar is Harold. That would be interesting. Like, we don't know what's the treasure of Elbaf. We don't know what this mythical devil fruit does. We don't know all these things, and I've been discussing that in my last video as well. But what if Loki didn't just kill his father, but almost killed him? Managed to get rid of Harold's arm in a way where it couldn't be regenerated anymore, thereby freeing him from the power of Imu. And Harold already has these giant scars on his forehead where he ripped out his horns. So is that the burnt scar? I actually don't think it's Harold, but it would be interesting. Or maybe he gets another burnt scar from Loki's devil fruit power. What are these power entail? We have absolutely zero clue, only speculations. Yeah, something to think about. Also, next year, very much upcoming, Luffy's fight against Imu, I guess. Imu is currently in his shadow form incarnated in Gunko's body. And I really want Gunko to be freed of Imu. But currently he's controlling her completely. And yeah, that's the thing. But Luffy's gonna go and fight him. that is something that's very scary after seeing the whole God Valley arc, because Emu didn't even take damage there. Like, he got cut into pieces, had the strongest attack in the manga we've seen so far thrown at him by Big Mom, Kaido, Roger, Garp and Rox. And Whitebeard. I almost forgot Whitebeard. God damn. The fucking goat. A combined attack by all those 6 people thrown at him. And brother didn't even sweat. He just went on to DOMI reverse the rocks. Brother didn't even take a step back or stop for anything. Like, it's like, oh, what was that, a fly? No, that was nothing to him. His regeneration powers completely overrode it. Like, he's the shadow being, and we don't really know if that's actually his physical form, if he has a physical form. Is that just what he looks like? Is he just a shadow demon? Can you even attack him? Like, maybe all these attacks didn't land because that's not his real physical form. That's just something you see. Like, how do you cut a shadow? You don't. And maybe it's some sort of hex, and it is actually possible to hurt Emu in different ways, but not on this way. Like, we had this in One Piece before, where people seemed completely invulnerable. And then it was like, oh, you gotta do this. Or, oh, this is actually not the real body. Like Cracker soldiers would be an example for that. Yeah, Cracker is inside of one of the soldiers. But you just punching out all these soldiers, that's not actually Cracker. Those are just soldiers, and he can make more of those. So Cracker's not invulnerable, you just gotta find him. Or Pika being, again, inside of his giant stone statue he made, but he still has his real body inside there somewhere. So you just gotta find that and cut him down, like Zoro did. Like the minority hunter he is. Yeah. Lots of things to think about. It's a beautiful day. It's snowing. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. And yeah, what a nice day. I'm gonna have another stroll through the forest and get to biking again. But first off, there's a little cheers. Get some Spezi. Crack it open. And drink to the next year. And to the things to come. Prost. Nice. Bye bye.